It wasn't until Tuesday night did that official list come out. We've been waiting for several days, kind of speculating who would be here for this primetime debate here live inside the queue.
10 candidates will be on stage, so it's going to be a crowded stage tonight. So the question is, what can we expect from each of the candidates?
So Dr. Colin Swearingen, he's actually the assistant professor of political science at John Carroll University. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to have him kind of go down the list of Republican candidates and give your 2 cents basically on each one of them. But first I want to bring up John Kasich and what your thoughts are on him and the recent bump in national and local polls.
Absolutely. Once he entered the race on July 21st, he saw an increase in attention. People were Googling his name, people trying to find out more about him, and he saw just enough of a bump in the polls to get into the debate. It went from about 1% to 3%, which really helped.
What about Donald Trump? Does he have a realistic chance of winning, do you think?
He just doesn't have a lot of party support, and that's a big part of getting the nomination. So I think his support will go down over time.
Another big heavy hitter, a big name we've heard for many, many years, Jeb Bush. Talk about that.
Great name, allowed him to raise over almost $120 million, so he's in it for the long haul. I think he's got a decent chance, especially with his record as governor of Florida.
Sure.
Talk about Ben Carson, the doctor. I mean, what are his odds?
Yeah, he's kind of unknown, but he's got a little bit of support that people really are passionate about him. And so as long as he can adapt to get some of the domestic and foreign policy issues down, he might have his chance.
How about Scott Walker?
He's one of those names that a lot of people talk about. People on the Republican side love him because he faced the recall and won, and so he's got a chance to raise money. He's a good conservative for a lot of the Republican primary voters. He's got a really good chance, one of the primary candidates, yeah.
Your take on Mike Huckabee?
Well, he won Iowa in 2008. He really goes after the evangelical vote quite a bit, but with other candidates in the race, I think they might split the evangelical vote in Iowa. It'll be, I think, tough for him to really get traction.
All right, Ted Cruz.
He's the Tea Party favorite. Everyone loves him and his rhetoric, especially if you're against President Obama's policies. But again, he'll be splitting that evangelical vote with Mike Huckabee and some of the other candidates.
And how about Marco Rubio?
Marco Rubio's got a great story, that Cuban-American upbringing. He's able to raise a lot of money. He's charismatic, he's young, he's energetic. So he's one of those candidates that a lot of people look forward to maybe gain some traction in a debate like tonight's.
Your thoughts on Rand Paul?
Rand Paul, the libertarian of the race from Kentucky, he's gone after some non-traditional Republican constituencies like African Americans and young people, but it's going to be tough for him to break out. This is a good opportunity for him to do that tonight.
What about the man with the big personality, Chris Christie?
Yeah, I think in some ways Republican voters have tired of him a bit. He kind of peaked in 2013, 2014 when he was part of the Republican Governors Association, raised a lot of money for that group, but it hasn't translated to a lot of success so far.
Now, I know they're all probably going to try and get there, as I said earlier, 2 cents in tonight, and it's going to be rather difficult. 10 candidates on stage is probably the most the debate has really ever had. So how do they really get their point across with what the policy that they believe in?
And make a name.
Right.
Yeah, and they're going to go always back to their talking points. It's up to the moderator to get them beyond that. They're only going to have a certain amount of time on camera. They need to take advantage of that. They need to do whatever they can to stand out from the rest of the crowd.
There's another debate at 5 o'clock. The 7 also reigns, if you will.
Right.
Does this mean they're out of it? Do they have a chance to move into the top tier, do you think?
Certainly they have a chance. When you look at someone like Rick Santorum, who won the Iowa caucuses in 2012, Rick Perry, 15-year governor of Texas, he's able to raise a lot of money. They have a chance, but it's a very small one.
Who do you think could come out the winner?
My money would be on either Jeb Bush, Scott Walker, or Marco Rubio.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.